Hey guys, what's going on? I've gotten some questions lately about things that I do to get better at practicing vocals, finding different tones, etc., etc. So I'm going to give you guys 5 tips that help me, and hopefully it will help you. First thing I would say to do that's really important is to practice your breath control, practice your breathing. It makes a huge difference, especially when you're playing shows live and you're doing song after song, you start getting tired and stuff like that. You want to practice breath control, which actually, it might sound kind of funny, but I watched a David Blaine. He did a seminar on TEDx about how he learned to control his breathing so he could hold his breath for a really long time. Obviously, it doesn't all apply to doing vocals, but the science behind what he was saying is still true, and the techniques that he was doing was very true. So if you just type like David Blaine TEDx into YouTube and watch it, it's some really good information about how to control your breathing, about how to hold your breath for longer and to have more power from the breath that you get. Another thing that would really help for breath control, honestly, is exercising. Go jogging or do cardio. All that kind of stuff will strengthen your heart and it will help you to control your breathing a lot better. You know, I would do that sometimes. I would go running, and it sounds kind of funny, but I'd go running and then I would try to like do some screams while I was running. It sounds really funny and it sounds like a weird thing to do, but when you're performing live, if you're putting on a good show and you're jumping around on the stage, you're gonna get very tired and you're gonna get worn out, and so exercising really helps because you build up that endurance. So it will definitely help with your breath control. The last thing I would say to do to control your breath as well is don't try and just scream a full line or 2 full lines on one breath. Learn where you can put in breaths in between your lines. You know, if you can say 3 or 4 words, take a quick breath and then continue on, that will help too. I have to do that a lot live, and that's something that I struggled with for a long time because I would just try and do a full line in one breath, and I would end up gassing out, and I would end up just having to speak the last couple words because I didn't have anything left. But if you can kind of find places to do really quick breaths, you know, in between your lines, that will definitely help to get you through. It does make a big difference, actually. The more breath you have, the more power behind your scream you're going to have. So you're going to sound better, and you're not going to sound weak when you're screaming, especially live. Second thing I would say is to scream along to some of your favorite bands. If you're really influenced by like The Artist Murder or Whitechapel or Impending Doom, whatever it may be, scream along to their songs. And I don't mean, you know, play a song and then just do the whole thing. I mean, like, you know, take a part at a time and just scream a part and then get it down, trying to, you know, not necessarily be that vocalist, but try and see what they're doing and try and match what they're doing, because that's only going to help you understand how to control what you do better. And if you can emulate another vocalist, I mean, that's an awesome thing to be able to do, and it's only going to help you grow and find your own voice, and you're going to have all these different tones that you can work with, all these different screams that you know. Obviously be careful, you know, if you're trying to sound like a certain person and you're not doing it right, that can hurt your voice, so be careful when you do that. But, you know, scream along to different bands. It helps. When I first started, I screamed along with bands like Asking Alexandria, stuff like that, and then as I progressed, I started trying to do stuff like Impending Doom, you know, Whitechapel, The Artist Murder, Black Tongue, The Devil Wears Prada, don't go there. And other bands like that, and it definitely helped me to understand how to manipulate my tongue, how to manipulate my throat and my voice to do certain things that I would then take and put into my own style and my own music. So it helps a lot. The third thing that you need to do, obviously, is practice. You have to do it. If you just sit there for 2 weeks and you don't scream at all, you're not really going to get any better. I practice maybe 2 or 3 times a week. When I was doing a lot of vocal covers, that was basically my practice, was doing vocal covers. You know, I'd pop a track into my recording program and I would just go through it and I'd record it for a couple hours. And that was good for me because I was screaming all the time, and I was also trying to find new tones for my voice. But you definitely need to practice a lot, 2 or 3 times a week. Some people do it more, some people do it less, and it just depends on what's good for you. Don't hurt yourself, don't burn out your throat. You know, if it ever hurts or stuff like that, you need to stop, you need to take a break, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, or a day, whatever. Don't burn out, but definitely practice a lot, because you're not going to get better if you don't. Fourth thing I would say is warm up. There are a lot of really good techniques for warming up your voice. I know Melissa Cross has her Zen of Screaming DVDs. She has some really good information there. But it goes for either singing or screaming. Warm-ups are very important. I know if I start recording and I haven't warmed up, I can tell. You know, I'll get 20 or 30 minutes into recording and my voice sounds a lot better than it did when I started. So I would end up having to go back and redo the first takes that I did because it wasn't what I wanted. It helps a lot. It makes a big difference, and you know, it's a really good thing to do. Something that I would do is I would just sing a song. You know, if it was not screaming, I would just sing clean singing. I would sing a couple songs and kind of get my throat loosened up. Nothing too extreme, nothing like way super high or out of my register. Sing something that's close, you know, easy enough for you to do as a good warm up, and then maybe scream along to a song, and you know, then go and record if that's what you're doing. For live, I mean, going to shows, if you're playing a show in your car, you know, sing along to a song in your car, do warm-ups, run scales, you know, do stuff like that. It definitely will help you, and you don't have to warm up like 20 minutes before a show or 20 minutes before your studio. If you wake up and you warm up, you're going to be good. You know, you're going to be good for the entire day unless you go to sleep and your vocal cords will rest. So, you know, if you warm up at any point in the day, you'll be fine for a long time until you go back to sleep. So definitely warm up because it makes a big difference. And the last thing I would say is seek advice, because there are a lot of different techniques out there. There are a lot of different styles. People do things differently. What they do might not work for you. So I would say find what does work for you, but also ask people for advice. You know, find a vocalist that's maybe in a local band in your area and you really like his screams, you know, and if he's a cool guy and wants to help you, you know, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know, I'm trying to scream, give me some pointers or something, like how do you warm up, how do you do this? It really helps, and it will help you to grow in your own path of finding the vocals. So yeah, don't be afraid to humble yourself and just ask people for advice. It's a really good thing to have a mentor or someone to kind of be like, yeah, don't do that, do this, you know, that tone is good, but, you know, change it a little bit, stuff like that. It's a long process, so it's going to take some time, and it's good to have a guide to help you through that. Well guys, thank you for watching this video. If you have any more questions you want to ask about vocals, whether it's clean singing or screaming, go ahead and put them in the comments below and I will try to get to them. Thank you very much.